Welcome back to the True Roots podcast, where men find their true identity in Christ through surrender and obedience. And I see the red light on this week, Dan, so I think they can see us.
Here we are.
Here we are. We are back and in person, audio and video.
Yes. I mean, we looked at ourselves all last week.
We did, and that was a heck of an episode. I'll tell you, it was a good one. So I'm just I'm glad that we have it, because today I don't know what today is.
It is the morning.
I'm not awake yet.
Yeah.
I've had my coffee.
It's still your nighttime.
It's still nighttime. We had a late night last night, actually, in a man-year group going on right now, and we had a little coin ceremony last night where we got to pour into other men. It was awesome, but it went late.
You had a coin ceremony?
Yeah, they do this. They do this thing every 12 weeks where you pick another guy in the group and you share how you've seen them grow over the last 12 weeks, and it was powerful night, really cool night, but got done late.
There's a lot to share about that person, it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people. So it's it was wonderful. It was really cool, and the Lord just moved in some really cool ways last night. But this morning, a little tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worth it.
It is. Very, very much worth it. So but I'm excited for this week, and I'm glad that we have it recording, because it's about letting your light shine. So we need to
transition.
be. Yeah, you like that? I'm trying. I'm working on it. But I thought it was interesting in the PDF that we keep talking about. You should download. You should use. It's wonderful.
Yeah, let's talk about it right now.
Yeah.
This way they don't miss it because they turned it off too soon.
Exactly. But Dan has been creating these, and as I was reading through it and preparing, I just love what the Lord put on your heart with that, in the sense of letting your light shine really is about choosing Jesus over the opinion of man. And one of the things that the Lord was speaking to me as I was reading through that is just, we can't actually allow our light to shine if we aren't fully free and vulnerable and open and allowing ourselves to live just fully for Jesus. And because when we're not living in the light, we can't be the light for other people. And I think that what he has shared with me is that we are going to constantly fear man when we're not just fully surrendered to the Lord. And I don't really have a story necessarily that's popping in mind. I thought I did, but it's not really coming into mind right now. But I think that some of that fear that we have of man and not being able to live fully and let our light shine for Jesus is because we don't actually live fully in the light. And if we can't live fully in the light, then we're not going to actually let our light shine, because we're going to try to create it and manufacture it rather than just be who we are. And I think that's where allowing our light to shine before others is something that can be in this Christian walk. Like, I got to go into this environment and I need to be a Christian, rather than like, I walk into this environment and I'm just the reflection of who I am in my life, because this is how I live and what I do. And so we allow our light to shine before others because we're living in the light and walking with the Lord in that. So it's not really where I expected to go right now, but I think that that's more of kind of my take on what you're sharing here is how do we actually walk in that light? And I think a piece of that is because that's how we live in our lives, is to walk in that light.
Yeah. I was processing this morning the verses that we have on this page. So the commandment is Matthew 5:12. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. But then some of these cross-reference verses, I think, are helpful context for some of the questions that you could have or potentially ask about what Jesus just said. So some of the questions would be like, well, what is my light? Right?
Yeah.
And why is a light necessary? Because this verse doesn't talk about darkness.
Yeah.
Right? And then, what is the purpose of letting my light shine? It's dark, but like, what does it do? What does it accomplish? Right? And then how do I do that? Like all these questions that you could ask, because it's not overly explicit.
Yeah.
And so some of the cross references, John 14:5, John says, in him, being Jesus, was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. Or 2 Corinthians 4:6, for God who said, let light shine out of darkness, made his light shine in our hearts to give us the light of the knowledge of God's glory displayed in the face of Christ, which answers the question of like, what is our light? It's the knowledge of God's glory, where displayed in the face of Christ. So like, how does it come about? By being with Jesus, seeing Jesus, considering Jesus, knowing Jesus, right? We've talked about abiding.
Yeah.
And then John 8:12, when Jesus spoke again to the people, he said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. And so that, why do we need to shine our light? To give glory to the Lord, but because it's dark.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that like is important to remember even is, holy cow, like this world, we don't walk around in darkness literally, like, I guess physically.
Yeah.
But, imagine that we are. Like, go live in Alaska, for the winter.
Yeah.
Like miserable.
Yeah.
But that, like the spiritual state of the world is that. Winter in Alaska.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible. But,
it does.
And so our light is so valuable. And what is its purpose? To give glory to God and point people to Jesus, right? Like the knowledge of the glory of God found in the face of Christ. I love that phrase. And the temptation, though, is to think, because I think I said this, it makes people uncomfortable.
It does.
Light, like you think about walking in the light, like the idea of getting everything out in the open is uncomfortable. Yeah. Or when you shine a light on something that was supposed to be hidden, Jesus says this to Nicodemus, in John 3, like the light has come into the world and the world hasn't desired to like be in the light. And so they've rejected it. There is a discomfort and we don't like to make people uncomfortable. And so that's why this fear, it's like, oh man, yeah, I don't want you to feel that way. Like I know I've spent a lot of time in my younger days doing the like no fear evangelism thing and going out and trying to talk to people on the street, and the temptation or the lie is they aren't going to want to talk to you about Jesus. That makes people uncomfortable. Don't be so serious. Don't talk about spiritual things. And that temptation has been prevalent, or that lie has been prevalent. Like I hear that thing all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, don't bring up Jesus now.
Yeah.
Don't talk about Jesus now. Like, maybe just mention that you're blessed. And so then the phrase or the word gets, like, if I was talking to a Christian, I would just say a direct thing. Yeah. But because I don't want to make someone uncomfortable, I won't call it what it is, which is Jesus or God or some Christian thing. I'll say some more acceptable phrase. And not make them uncomfortable, but then that is the equivalent of putting the light under a basket.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's subtle, but it's a bummer.
Yeah.
And it's not obeying the commandments.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's where the fear piece of it comes in that you're talking about is we get afraid of shining the light of Jesus. We get nervous about it, and it's when we have the fear of man over the fear of the Lord. I was reading a book, it's called Fearing Others, and it's teaching about letting go of those fears. And in that book, he talks about how when we fear God, we fear nothing else. And because, you talk about that verse, the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. And it's like fearing God, like, I don't want to be afraid of the Lord. It's like, it's not that.
Yeah.
I mean, he is all powerful. He is for sure. But it's basically that reverence, that awe, that understanding that he's in control, that he is over everything. And if he has my heart and I'm with him, then I don't need to be afraid of anything else. And then we're able to walk in the light and share the light. But there's still this background, like you're talking about with evangelism, this background fear that overshadows. And it's why God, Jesus talked about that. Like, You don't put it under a lampstand, and you walk in freedom when you walk in the light. And it's just bringing me back to the same thing I shared in the beginning. Is I think that, that verse that talks about, let me see the second piece of that, where the light of the knowledge of God's glory displayed in the face of Christ, is we have to know Jesus. We have to know Jesus to be able to share, to have that light. We can't have that light by going to church, by reading our Bible, those things obviously are getting to know Jesus, and so those are good, but it's actually knowing Jesus that allows us to walk in the light and to walk in freedom, because it is scary. Like when you're walking into darkness, it's scary. Mm-hmm. Like you think about what light does. Like light exposes, right? You go into a room and it's dark, you flip on the light, you can see. But when you're walking, we're walking in this world, we're walking into darkness, but we are the light because we have his light in us.
Yeah.
And so we are still walking into darkness. That is scary. Like we're walking into those things, but we don't have to fear because we have his light in us.
Well, can I interject in that? Like it's scary if we think our light is like a match, right?
Yeah.
But if we think our light is a light switch, it's not scary anymore, because the whole point, right? Like the context of this is you are the salt of the earth, you are the light of the world, like things that change their environment.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so like if you walk into a space that's dark as light, it inevitably is no longer dark.
Yeah. That's good.
And depending on how strong your light is, it has a greater effect.
Yeah.
And Jesus he said, I am the light of what? The world.
Yeah.
Which is a big light.
Mm-hmm.
It's not some little tiny match that you lit, right? And the light that we have, our source, you said it, is, and it says it in the verses, that is Christ, like in us, and has been made to shine in our hearts, like the light of the world. So we can walk like into dark places and be scared, but that means that we have the wrong idea of how bright the light is.
That's good.
And I think that is hard to keep in our mind. I remember hearing Erwin McManus talk about kind of something similar to this. So he had, I forget how he got himself into this situation, but he was in the like ghetto of Southern California near USC, which is, if you've ever been near or around USC, it's not in a great place. And anyways, he got out of before he got out of his car, he had driven past a couple cars that were like put up on blocks, been like their wheels are stolen, it's like they just are sitting there. And he's like, oh, what am I walking into? I don't know. But he had felt convicted that he had to go to this place. And he got to the point, he was afraid. And he was like, God, this is a dark place. And he had to come to the point where he was like, you know what? Like, you asked me to do this. I can't not obey you. He felt like I might die.
Yeah.
And so he made up his mind that he had before he got out and went. But because of who God was and who God is, he felt a confidence to walk in there. But there is that real tension of like, the world is dark. Mm-hmm. Like it's not pretending like the world's not. It's just recognizing that God is bigger, right? Mm-hmm. And the light is brighter. And that's how Jesus walked. Yeah. And so.
Yeah, it's reminding me now of a story when you and I went to, I know, it's like, it's going to come. I'm really tired this morning. I'm just going to be honest. I don't feel like I'm here yet, but we're getting there, but the Lord's good. But when we went to Colorado together for work a couple years ago. 2 years ago. Yeah. It's like literally, where Dan and I really got to know each other. Yeah. Actually, it was, yeah.
Yeah, it's in my 5-year journal.
That's hilarious.
Been reading it.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. So you wrote about me?
I'm just kidding. I did. Do you want me to read it to everyone?
Yeah, I read it to everybody. But anyways, I had to go to Walmart because I had forgotten to bring a belt or something. I think, forgot something.
Something small.
Yeah. And I needed to walk to Walmart. Yeah, exactly. It was like, I don't know, it was like a good 1.5 mile walk or 2 mile walk. Not super long.
Colorado Springs.
Yeah, Colorado Springs. And I go to Walmart and I am leaving and I hear the Lord say, like I buy a bottle of water. I'm thirsty. And I hear the Lord say, that's not for you. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I can't remember if I heard him say this. I think I did, if I remember right, to buy a couple more. I'm like, okay. So I buy 3 bottles of water and I start walking back. I'm like, I don't know who this is for. I had seen a homeless person on the way there. It's like, maybe that's what he's doing. I don't know. And I start walking back, and I'm walking back on the street, safe place, and he says, go right. Well, there's a park, and it is dark, and very, very dark. And he says, go right. And I was like, nope, nope, I'm not going that way.
Not happening.
Yeah, not happening. And I actually turn around, like I turn towards the park. I start walking. I see that there's a guy putting a tent up under an overpass. And I'm like, no, like this is dangerous. I'm not going that way. And so I turn around and I start to walk this other way. And God turns me around. And I'm like, okay, I've got to trust you. And so I turn around and I walk. And I'm like, okay, God, like you said to go this way. You had me buy 3 bottles of water. I'm going to go. And so I go down there, excuse me, and I'm scared the whole way. Like I am trembling, but I'm like, okay, you will protect me and I'm going to trust you. So I walk and I get down there and there are 4 people there. I have 3 bottles of water and a pack of gum, like 4 things. And so I give, each person a water and the pack of gum to the 4th person. And I walk and things were fine. And they were all gracious and thankful and all of those things. And who knows, it could have gone different. Like the Lord calls you into different, but he protected me. Mm-hmm. And it was this piece of, hey, I've called you to be light. I've called you to do these things. And if I call you to it, I will go with you in it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a piece of this too, is that we get so afraid that we have to go into these places and be this thing. And it's like, no. His light is with us. He's in us. And he's going not only with us, but before us, behind us, around us.
It's like the song, The Blessing.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah. And yet, when I was going there, what was the fear? My own life, my own self. I'm afraid. And that doesn't mean that we won't have those fears.
Or to have wisdom in decisions you make.
Yeah, exactly. Like there are times where, there is discernment, right? The Lord gives that.
Yeah.
But if he says go, go. Totally. And he was very clear, go, because I tried to go the other way. And he was like, no, turn around.
Good.
Yeah. And he will be clear in that, right? He will be clear in where you need to go and to step towards those fears. And often those fears, when we walk into it, quite often, those fears will still be there. Like it will, especially as we're learning to trust in the Lord. A lot of times I think we think this peace is going to come as we step into sharing, being the light, that we're going to have peace in the moment. He might give that. He can give that. He does give that. But quite often in that step, there's still going to be that, like, I don't know yet. Mm-hmm. Because we have to step into it and choose to trust. If I had chosen to go the other way, I would have actually stepped into fear rather than stepping into who he's called me to be and the light.
Yeah.
And so because I stepped in, is actually, I shared with you on the way back, like he had worked in another piece of my life through that scenario to say, hey, I need you to face this fear too.
Yeah, totally.
And so as we do that, he, for one, used me to be light to those people, but it actually shone more light in my own life of things that he needed to do. But without that step, that doesn't happen. Yeah. And it's allowed me to step into other places and step into more things and to step into more things. And so I think that's a piece of it too, is that fear, you may still feel that fear, but to know that wherever Jesus is calling you to be light, it's not your light, it's his light.
Yeah.
It's his light that's in you.
Yeah, I was going to comment on, what Jesus says in the commandment. He says, because it's kind of what you're getting at. Let your light shine before men that they may see your good deeds, mm-hmm. and then glorify the Lord. Yeah. And so it's not about performance, right? For people to recognize you, because when you kind of put the cover over the light, then what you're doing is giving people they only see you. right? And so
That's
if I think one of the tells of if you're doing this or not is who are people praising, right? Like,
Yeah.
are people praising you and your good character and your good nature, or are they praising God and because of the things you do?
Yeah.
And if they are, if God's getting the glory for the things that you're doing, your good deeds, then okay, your light's shining. But if you're getting the praise, your light's not shining.
That's good.
You know, and I do think, like, I've prayed this a handful of times, because I'll go on walks in the morning by my house, and I'll pray that our house would be a light in the neighborhood, like a beacon for our neighbors. And I do feel like it's starting to happen, but it's happened because of us serving our neighbors, like the good deeds of service.
Yeah.
And so it's not necessarily the conversation of evangelism and saying, you know, Jesus loves you. It's, you know, like if you think about the second commandment, love your neighbor, there's nothing added to that. Like, love your neighbor and tell them the gospel. You know, the commandment is love your neighbor. And if you're doing that, you're obeying the Lord.
Yeah.
And that's a good deed that will inevitably point people. Because the fact is, a light is obvious in a dark space. Like, it's not like you have to, like, make sure people notice that you're a light. Yeah. You will be seen. Like, I remember in college, I was at a party, and I wasn't drinking because I wasn't 21. And I remember this girl, she came up to me and she's like, I kind of want you to leave. I feel bad drinking. I hadn't even talked to her.
Yeah.
You know, I was just there and not. And, you know, like the fact that, and she had that because the Lord was working that out in her of like, you know, she had been processing that herself. And then, you know, when you're faced with it, you see it clearly. And sometimes you don't have to say anything. You just have to, your good deeds, like that's what is your light in this is the things you do, not the things you say.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, our actions, the things we do are words, but most of the time it's how we live. And as long as God's getting the glory from the things you're doing, people, not from you, but from other people around you recognizing that, then you can be confident that, like, you're obeying this commandment.
Yeah. Well, it comes back to that light switch thing. You turn on the light, darkness is gone.
Yeah.
Like the light didn't say anything.
Like, just was, you know, here I am.
Here I am.
Yeah.
And it changes the
Change
culture
the
of where you,
environment.
and that is what we are. Like, we are called to change the environment of the places that we are. And it reminds me of the A.W. Tozer quote that I'm going to butcher because I can't remember, but it's like, oh, maybe I'm remembering it now, is to preach the gospel, if necessary, use words. And people will change them and be like, preach the gospel, and because it's necessary, use words. And it's like, well, yeah, but his point was, be who Jesus calls you to be in action. Don't just share the gospel and then live a different life.
Yeah.
It's like, if you are with Jesus, you will reflect Jesus. And if you reflect Jesus, that reflection will be light. Like, you will have the light of him. And so any environment that he places you in, you will be his hands and feet to that environment. You will serve that environment. You will step into the things that he asks you to do. And it won't be this, man, I got to go in here today and, okay, Lord, I got to go in here and I got to say something and I got to do something. And he might call you to do that. But you just go in there.
Yeah.
And you're just willing to go in and say, okay, Lord, how do you want me to be light here? What do you want to shine here? What do you want to do here? And you're just in that environment.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that the Lord's taught me and spoke into me is like, you're a culture changer. Well, I think that's everybody in the family of the Lord, right? Like, we should be culture changers in the places that we are. But I also know that I can put my light under a lampstand as well. And because I want to rephrase that.
A bushel basket?
Yeah, bushel basket. Well, I want to replace the, like, my light piece of it. It's like, it's his light through me. But you know what I mean? And I can do that. Like, I can get in these environments and instead of walking as myself, like, he's teaching me actually in this new environment, new job, of just how to just be who I am in the Lord, no matter where I am.
Yeah.
And it's a good environment. Like, I want to be clear, you know, with, you know, they may listen to this and stuff too, is that, like, it's wonderful people that I work with and all of that. but he's teaching me how to be in the world, not of the world, right? He's teaching me how to step into different environments and still be who I am in the Lord, because it's who I am. It's who he's created me to be. It's who I am with him. And so, and that sometimes is challenging, because I can step into that environment and shrink rather than step into who I am fully.
Totally.
And he even had me, he's teaching me things with my boss, and just, I've always, a couple of years ago working with Jordan, like I had a boss who was a Christian. Like I knew I could talk about the Lord. And now the Lord is challenging me. Like I was just had a meeting with my boss, one-on-one meeting. And I was just like, hey, I'm a man of faith. Like I love the Lord. But even in like thinking about it, I was like, I'm a man of faith. And I'm like, when do I say that in my life? I was like, I never say that.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I was like,
This is like the acceptable way to say this.
I never talk about that. But in that, the Lord still was like teaching me how to be like, hey, because I was talking about other jobs, being here, what the Lord's doing this season, where I am financially. Like we're just having that conversation. And I said, hey, like, I'm just going to be clear. The Lord wants me here. And that's why I'm here. And if he doesn't want me here, I won't be here. And I just need to be clear that I'm here because the Lord's asked me to be here. And I know I'm supposed to be here. And that's a different thing to say to someone who doesn't know the Lord. But I felt like the Lord was clear and like, just be honest. Like you're not here because of the financial gain that you're going to make in this. Actually, financial gain would be the other job. But the Lord has said, stay here. But to share that, and again, like, yeah, I probably would have shared it a different way if I had to share it again. But to share that is to step into like, I don't care what your opinion is of what I say here. Like, I know that the Lord has told me that this is where I'm supposed to be, and I'm going to share that with you.
This is the reason why.
And this is why. Yeah.
Like, you asked me, and this is why.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, buddy, I want you to know the 5-point gospel message in the Romans road. And, it's like, I'll be ready to give an answer for the hope that's in you, mm-hmm. and let your light shine. There is a passiveness to that.
Yeah.
Right? In the sense that, like, you have this light in you. The only effort that's presented in regards to this is covering it. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's the work we do, is to cover it. That otherwise it is passive in the sense that like, this is who I am, this is what God has made me, this is who the Lord is and what he's told me, my relationship, what it looks like, all of those things. That's just the overflow. Passive, like let it shine, know? Anyways, that kid's song's great, by the way.
Yeah. Do you want to sing it?
No.
Okay. That's fair.
No one wants
fair.
me to sing it.
Yeah. No, that passiveness is I think you bring up a good point there in the sense of just, I think as Christians, we can do this thing. I can do this thing. Or it's like, I've got to go do this in this environment because, and we've talked about this in this episode, but it really is. It's just, I'm with Jesus. So wherever I go, I'm going to allow his light to shine.
Yeah.
It's really just,
I'm not going to cover it.
Yeah, I'm not going to cover it. It's not, I'm going to go do it. It's like, I'm just not going to cover it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go be however he asks me to be. And oftentimes, it is just serving. Mm-hmm. Most of the time.
Yeah, it's just love the Lord and love your neighbor, right? Like the whole law is summed up in those things.
Yeah.
And so it's not overly complicated. And it's not some fancy formula where, if you do this, then this results. It always comes back to abiding, right? Like being in the face of Christ. And how do you see the face of Christ? You be with him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's the work, is just remain in me, And the rest of it is the work of the Lord.
Yeah. And I'll just wrap it up here is what happens, I'll just ask you this question. What happens when you allow your light to shine and you just go serve others?
I have a great example of this to answer that, unless you had
more. No, that's great, yeah.
So we had this old elderly couple at the end of our street. They've lived there for as long as I've been alive, 38 years. Nope, sorry, that's how long they've been married. They've lived there 35 years. And I think I had seen the guy out of his house in his front yard 3 times in 5 years. And I'd seen the woman maybe 7 or 8 times. Never, almost like they were tethered to their front door, right? Like never more than a certain radius from, like it's like they were attached to something. And my wife, Rachel, asked the woman if she could help her with her yard. And she said yes. And I, like within the matter of 1 week of her doing that, spending time with her, talking to her, weeding weeds with her, I've now seen her out of her house almost every day. I was telling Rachel this last night. I was like, she's different. Like she walked down the street to our house. She hadn't even seen these houses. Like she'd never even come down and all it was Rachel was love, like changed. It changed her. Like she felt seen, she felt loved, she felt cared for, she felt appreciated, she felt valued, like, and she had purpose again in living. Honestly, she's 80 years old.
Yeah.
But like that's the kind of stuff that like Rachel didn't go over there and like tell her about Jesus. She just said, "Can I help you with your yard?" And then all of a sudden she was alive.
Yeah.
It was shocking, dude. I cannot emphasize the transformation of this woman and them, like the couple. It's like we do these neighborhood barbecues intermittently. And I told Rachel, I would not be surprised if she came.
Yeah.
I also would not be surprised if she didn't. But like, she's different.
Yeah.
And all it was an act of love, let your light shine.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It shifts.
That's what it looks
changes.
like.
Yeah. It changes the environment.
Yeah. And the people as a result, they see differently.
They do. They do. And that's how the gospel gets shared. And it allows that opportunity, maybe at some point, where she asks why.
Yeah.
Why'd you come over here? What do you do? These things come up because now there's building of a relationship.
I mean, that stuff has
service.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in conversation, right?
Yeah. So it allowed, when you go serve, people are going to start to ask, those questions. But also, it's going to shift. Like when you serve someone, it's going to shift. It's going to shift their environment. It's going to shift how they see. So
totally.
Yeah. Well, we'll wrap it up here today. We'll wrap it up with prayer. But Dan has written a really cool question. Do you remember the question on your sheet?
I did.
Yeah, I like it. I know. I like to put you on the spot there.
I mean, it had that quote with Mark Batterson, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to share it? Here,
the quote, I've remembered it. It's in the book, In a Pit with a Lion on a Snowy Day, is the book that he wrote. The quote is, instead of worrying about proving yourself to others, prove yourself to the Lord, and he will prove you to others. And so then the question is, I think, actually you read the question because you have it right in front of you. How did I phrase it?
Yeah, it says, write down your worries about what others think about you and surrender them to the Lord. So it's not a question, but it's just...
It's a reflection.
A reflection of what are those worries that you have about others, and
what are the things that make you cover your light?
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm going to share a story too. It's like we're kind of having a funny podcast today, but it's like I'm going to share this story. It is last night. So I'm in this man year group, right? And this season's been hard. It's really difficult because God's getting to my deeper roots, right? And so I was looking in the group and I read something and someone this is like super vulnerable for me, but it's not that big of a deal. But I was reading something and this guy had highlighted 3 other men. And for some reason it hit me as like, oh, he's judging me. No, not at all. But I'm like, in this season, I've been having these like insecurities and these fears and but I'm walking towards the Lord. I'm like, Lord, I don't know why you're hitting these so deep, but he wants to pull this root out of what others think of me. And so he highlighted that, and I'm like, man, why am I having this thought? Like, I know that's not true, but it just hit this weird part of me. Well, last night at the Mania group, this guy so you get to pick who you're going to speak life into. Well, he picked me from day one. He's like, this is who the Lord's told me. But he didn't tell Jordan who he wanted to pick, and he waited. He's like, I just want to see if this is going to play out where the Lord wants me to speak into his life. And so I was the last pick. Like, no one had picked me because the Lord wanted him to pick me. And it was the guy that I was like worried about what he thought of me. And he spoke life into me. And it was just this like little reminder from the Lord of like, just keep seeking me and I will. It's the same thing you're talking about here. That's why I share this story. It's like, if you seek the Lord and are just going after the Lord, no matter what season you're in with him, he's going to prove you to others. Like, you don't have to prove yourself to others. And you don't need to perform. And this is actually really what the Lord's getting to the root of with me, is to stop performing for others and to just follow him. But it was just this reminder, like this little gentle reminder of, not only did he pick you, but he waited till the end to where anyone else could have picked me in the group. There's 14 guys in this group. Anyone else could have picked me. No one did, because the Lord wanted him to speak to me, because the Lord wanted to say, hey, like, I wanted you to see this, and I wanted you to see this.
Yeah.
Because I'm at work, and you don't need to worry about anyone's opinion of you, just mine.
Yeah.
And then watch what I do. And it's just this beautiful reflection of who the Lord is. And we get in these places where maybe we're struggling, or it's difficult, or it's hard, or I don't know. And it's a little bit beside the point of what we're talking about. But we get in these places where we're concerned about what others think of us. But if you really do truly just seek the Lord and walk in his will, he will, for one, it will just prove itself out. But no matter what anyone thinks of you, like, the Lord will fight for you.
Yeah.
And the Lord's with you. And he'll give you these little gentle reminders of just, hey, like, you're good. You don't need anyone else's opinion.
Yeah.
You need mine.
Right.
And that's it.
Totally.
And so this is totally worth going through, looking at, laying them down, surrendering those worries to him. So download it.
Do it.
Check it out. It's worth it. Dan's worked hard on it. One of these weeks I'll work hard on it.
Do it.
But you should check it out. So you want to end us in prayer?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, Lord, I pray that we would be good at recognizing through your Spirit when we are tempted to cover our light. And that we would be able to lay down the cover and just let it shine. To trust that the light in us is the light of the world. That the world needs the light, and that discomfort is creating opportunity for truth and life and freedom and hope and joy and peace and all that you've done in our lives. And so would you, through your Spirit, allow us to do that? Like, we know that we can't walk in this way apart from you. And so I pray, Lord, that would be true for us. It'd be true for those who listen, that desire to obey you. And Lord, for those who are walking in darkness, that they'd see the light. Like, this world has seen a great light, and that is you. And so, Jesus, we thank you that you have called us. We thank you that you love us, and help us to walk in a way that is honoring and glorifying to you. Praise your name. Amen.
Amen. All right. Have a great week.
Bye.